Alright, welcome to this episode of Locked In, and as you can read by the thumbnail, we have some sad news, but it's going to be good news, and I'll get to that point later in this video. So, as you've read, I am going to be selling one of my bikes, and if you've been watching the channel, you know the kind of current builds that I have going on, and there is one that I've absolutely loved enjoying and modifying probably the most on this channel in quite a while, and the transformation from stock to where it is has been incredible, and how different of a bike it feels like now, and especially with all the iterations that I've done. The bike that I'm going to be looking to be selling, and possibly to one of you, is going to be the Poseidon Redwood, and let me explain why. There is nothing wrong with the bike. I've loved working with Poseidon in the past, reviewing their bikes on the Poseidon X and the Redwood, and I'm looking forward to see what else they come out with over the next few years, and I can't wait to work with them some more. So basically the reason being is I felt like this bike, as far as my entire catalog of bikes, I'm actually kind of at the end of it where I want to go deeper into trying to actually get a mountain bike on this channel. If you've been watching this since day one, I've never owned a mountain bike. I have ridden some and demoed a few, but I've never actually personally had my own mountain bike that I've been able to do for myself, and I definitely am not the greatest downhiller or mountain biker when it comes to technical trails, and I've really pushed this thing to the absolute limits, I think, in my experience, from taking this thing from the stock drop bar, putting a flat bar on it, changing the wheels and tire sizes drastically with a 29 by 2.2 as well as a 650 by 2.6, and seeing what characteristics I really like to help me determine what would be the next progressive step. I have thought about just putting a suspension fork on this bike, but it's been difficult to source a fork in general with COVID and everything going on, as well as it really would affect the geometry since there's nothing really perfect to fit that bike. Even if I went down to 100 millimeters, I'd have to find something smaller than that, but it's been hard to find one with the tire clearance that this bike has without drastically affecting it. And I know that some of the guys from Poseidon have done that to their bikes, but I really was interested in seeing what the real difference was between that bike and a mountain bike. And I'd love to be able to keep it, but with my studio apartment and the size and scale that I have, and able to keep as many bikes as I can physically in my place for safekeeping, this is the bike that I think it would overlap so much with an actual mountain bike that I think that I wouldn't ride it as much. So if you're interested in picking this up, I am going to be reverting it back to stock as far as stock wheels and tires. I'm going to be putting the drop bar setup back on it. So it is basically going to be a custom painted Poseidon Redwood, as you've seen in all my videos. It will have an upgraded fun crankset on it. I will be putting, I believe, the stock stem back on there, or just another stem I have laying around. The stock handlebars and Advent X shifters, which basically look like new since I didn't really use them. The stock brakes. So essentially you're getting a stock bike with an upgraded crankset with the fun unit. It is a smaller ratio, but I will be providing the 38 tooth stock ring as well. And obviously the custom paint job that still looks phenomenal, and the undercoating I did use has been holding up very, very well. The rest of the components, like I said, have very low miles. Basically, once I convert it to a flat bar, I've just been storing them, so they've basically are like new. So if you're interested in picking this up, follow me on Instagram and shoot me a DM if you're interested. I'm not looking to charge extra because of the paint job or anything else, but essentially this amount of money is going to fund the mountain bike build, and I'm looking to collaborate, hopefully with Cobalt Bikes yet again, who's been really supporting the channel, with either their hardtail or possibly full suspension frames. We're still working out the details, but that is something that I really want to see what the real progression is and how much more capable that bike will be, and to progress my handling skills off-road as well. So I know this has been a lot of talking, and hopefully you've still enjoyed watching this video, but again, if you're interested in picking that up, I will also be selling it possibly with some other upgrades. If you're looking to add a suspension stem or seat post, include that in the DM. I can obviously include those along with the stock components. And if you are international, sorry, I am only going to be able to ship this in the US. So if you're in one of the 50 states, I will ship it probably via bike flights, and we can negotiate on pricing as far as shipping, because it obviously will vary depending on where you live. So if you're interested in picking up a one-of-one custom Redwood that I painted personally myself, that has been clear brought as well to protect it even further, shoot me a DM on Instagram. I really would appreciate it, because again, this money is essentially going to go right back into the channel, because this is my full-time job, but it does not pay the bills, so I don't have enough money to fund a mountain bike build from scratch so I could keep this bike. So it is going to have to go up for sale, so I can move that money over to another build and produce another build series for you, and probably a series on me trying to learn how to mountain bike well. So please make sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, as well as you can help support this build and the channel via Patreon or my Spreadshirt, where I offer my Slow But Look Pro merchandise. And links for those are all in the description below. And make sure to subscribe and like this video if you haven't already. It really does help the channel so I can produce more content just like this every single week. And lastly, thanks for watching this episode of Locked In.
Let's get locked in today. Like tutorials and quick and